Hello and welcome to Nick Foley UK. I thought I'd just spend a moment to give you an update on what's been going on around my life and kind of apologise for not being around for the last couple of weeks. It's been a pretty busy time for me at the moment, so long and short of it is I've not been able to get in and record the videos that you like and that you ask for, so apologies for that. I've been working on the debut album for Atack, the band I'm playing in the UK, and also been gigging around with Pure Purple, which is my Deep Purple tribute band. I'm also playing my first gig next week in the Midlands of England with a band called Blind Lemon, who do 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties covers in a kind of tribute thing, a 6-piece with a saxophone. Really nice band, actually, really good band, some interesting stuff and some new stuff for me to learn, so I've been doing a bit of work on that. As you know, I do a reasonable amount of session work as well. I appear on the new Gabrielle De Val's album, which is a cracking little song. It's a Magnum cover, UK rock band song. And also on a Peter Daltrey album and the No Escape, where I play Hammond organ and piano. Still working with my friend Avi, solo artist in Israel. And I have to thank Talon Cross in a moment for donating $1 to the cause. Thank you very much for that. Another band that I did an album for recently. So I've just been rather busy. Nothing more in it than that, other than being rather tired, rather busy, whizzing around the place, doing lots of recordings for people. So that's just a quick update. I'm still here, still in the studio. You can see behind me my 80s, 90s, noughties rig, which is slightly different to how I usually do it. XK5 of course, but on an X stand. A Neo ventilator knocking around the Juno DS and the microphone as well. The Juno DS of course has got a really nice vocoder patch that you can use, and you can run the microphone into the synth, and you can sing normally with a separate output and reverb and what have you, but you can also run it through the patches on the vocoder, and before you know it you're doing electric light orchestra covers, you know. So building up for that first gig next Saturday. I've also moved over from Logic Pro X to Pro Tools, which is interesting. Pro Tools is fantastic, as I'm sure most of you will know, but I think if I'd started on Pro Tools, or a lighter version in that vein, would have been a lot easier for me. But starting, as I think a lot of people do, with a Mac on GarageBand for free, then expanding the GarageBand one to the advanced features, and then working into Logic Pro and Pro X. Well, it's basically an expansion of that. I'm sure a lot of the code is very similar, and that's worked very well for me. But working now with pro musicians, session musicians, and professional recording studios, it's a lot easier if I'm on the same door as everybody else. So moving on to Pro Tools is the thing to do, and it's been a bit confusing. I'm not gonna lie. I found out a few interesting things with the preamps, the mic pre's. If you ADAT out to an extension, your clock speeds can cause all kinds of mistakes. I have a feeling, for example, that in Logic Pro the clock speed is run by the device, and in Pro Tools it's run by the software, I think, and those little things have cost me a lot of time getting that to work. Getting my Icon QCon Pro X Surface mixer working has taken a while. I've got Aaron to thank from Rosalie Cunningham's band who came and helped me do that, which is great, and Chris Charles from Thunder and Keith Atack, who have been also helping me with some bits and bobs with Pro Tools and getting those working. So I'm very grateful to those guys for helping me. But we're all kind of up and running again now, which is great. You know, these things get in the way, don't they? I did a session yesterday for Avi using the C3 and the 122, and hidden in the corner there was a Marshall Master Volume combo, which I'm using. I'm doing a bass rotor left, right, and a room for the Leslie, and I'm also feeding in a bit of stationary as well. It's a trick I nicked from Chris at Vale Studios in Evesham, and I was sceptical, to be honest, when I first came across that. But I have to say, having heard it, it just fills in that bottom, low end and that mid in a way that it's quite amazing, really, because you think a stationary going against a rotary cab would be maybe that Memphis thing. It was a sound, and it is a feature that you can do on some Leslies. But I didn't think it would work really for rock. But the Marshall has its own distortion and overdrive, as well as sending it from my beautiful Profcom ZD1 here from George Krebs in Australia. So it was really interesting to get, and you mix the sound up quite nicely together, and you put on some of the plugins that I put on before I send them out as a finished recording. Maybe I should go and explain some of those plugins as well to you in the future. A lot of the Waves stuff, if I'm honest with you, a lot of the Waves Abbey Road bundle is quite good for that. So I use some of the TG console plugins, add to that some saturation from that area, drop it all in, submix it, put it all back in, another little bit of a DBX 160 compressor, and then back onto the mix bus. Use the sneaky few pieces of mastering tools to emulate a bit more age into some of the recording of that, and then I send that out as my recording. It tends to drop in quite nicely and tends to fit in quite nicely. So, as I say, if you catch the Gabrielle De Val album, I'll put a link down below, just where you need to subscribe, funnily enough, and I'll explain what I did there, what the process was there, and how the sound I got. And I have to say, the mixed and engineered finished product is amazing. It's a really, really good album. So it's well worth that one. And the other guys too. The Peter Daltrey one too has come out fine. Peter Daltrey and the No Escape. It's come out really well there too. So those are some things. I was going to go and talk to you about some of the questions that you've asked me over the last few weeks, and I've got them all printed out here, but maybe I'll do that in one large session. We've come to a natural kind of end, not a complete end, but a natural end of a quarter of the year, and there's a few questions that people have asked me, and I do try and answer them all on YouTube. I do try my very best to go through them all and answer them all where appropriate. But maybe I'll do an Ask Me Anything later on in the year. How do you fancy that? If there's anything that you want to know that you think I could be able to help you with, I'm not going to be able to help you with everything, but I'll have a good go. I'll do a bit of research for you as well, and just drop it in the chat down here. Any questions you'd like to do with Hammond organs, to do with music, to do with anything, and if I know the answers, I'll tell you straight away, and we'll do a little video on it. If I don't know the answers, I'll ferret around and see what I can find for you as well, because I'm quite good at finding these little nuggets on the internet or asking some of my friends who may have the answers. So, in a nutshell, hello, good afternoon, good evening. Beautiful spring day today. It's unusually lovely in England. The sun is out. I want to go out and get playing on the swings in a bit if I can. So just to say hi, miss you all, and I do hope I'll be with you soon. Let's get some gigs out the way, and then I'll start up with another session of things for you, and some tutorials, information, things that you might find useful, both on Hammond organs, on anything else. So if you have anything you want me to get into and get under the hood into, have a look at, I will do. And hopefully you're all safe and well, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much.